Hello? Hello, hello? What? Hmm. Hmm. What do you mean? Um. Hmm. Hello? This software is weird as fuck. What's going on? Okay. Okay. It's working. Alright, so. Hello. Lots of changes. Um, I don't know what the last stream ended on, and I'm not gonna go check, but I've been playing on my own, on my lonesome. Just some miscellaneous stuff, but I wanted to save the Dawnguard questline for the stream. Because, you know, sometimes I just want to play, but sometimes I don't want to stream, so. Oh yeah, we got a unicorn. Yeah, we got a unicorn. He's very fast. I like it. I like how fast it is. Okay, I haven't decided on a name, and I don't think I will. But, hello. And, you know, today I'm thinking of keeping it light. I'm thinking of keeping it nice, light and breezy, maybe actually listening and playing to the game, instead of, you know, going off on my, rants that I get up to. So, yeah. So we have not gone inside of Riften yet, because I don't need to go in there. Fuck that. What I'd rather do is just kick off with the Dawnguard questline, and then just kill some vampires. Yeah. Oh, what's that over there? Oh, it's a werebear. Woo! Okay, I did get a mod that increased the amount of summons I could have. This right here. So, is it overpowered? Yeah. Do I care? No. So, yeah, I just want to have my fun. But anyways, that's the only additional mod I've added. Man, this motherfucker's strong. Goodness. Maybe I don't know how to keep stuff light and pleasant, because I'm really struggling to not just jump into some unusual bullshit. Why would I deviate? Why deviate? Okay, so the other day I wrote my part 2 of Abundant Worthlessness that I've been talking about the past few streams, and what have you fuckers been doing? So, part 2 I posted, and I went into detail about the economics of an apple and how we ascribe value and worth to certain things. So it's not that much, it's nothing new compared to my previous streams, but to refresh. An apple has its own value based on the context of whatever led to its pricing. Duh. But that includes how much does it cost to run the orchard? How much does it cost for distributing it to the store? How much does it cost for the store to keep up business? And that all goes into the price of a single apple, let alone a bag of apples. Now, all of that, you might say, well, how can you possibly say that the apple is worthless then? All this labor, all of these different things went into making the price of that apple. But I would say that the actual value of the apple is only contingent on the fact that the laborers require a price on the apple because other laborers within the economy, within the system, also ascribe value to certain things. Okay? It's in the essay. I think I explained it better there. But, oh yeah. So look at this place. Look at this. Oh, that's lovely. And God damn it, I have apparently I had an ulcer in my bottom lip. Now it's really hard to talk. It just fucking hurts. It's a crater now. It's healing. But god damn, it's been hurting. That's another reason why I haven't been streaming at all. Okay. Anyways. Oh yeah, look at all this. This, if you ever played vanilla Skyrim, this is a really big upgrade. I can only imagine what Volkihar Castle looks like. Goodness. Now Varis, he comes from a family that enslaved vampires. And so it's very unlikely that he would bother joining the vampires. He's on a fight with the Dawnguard. So, yeah. But, here's the thing. So,
new recruits. Eastron will decide if you've got what it takes.
This is greasy ass hair.
He's right inside.
So, the value of a given object is completely dependent on how we ascribe value to certain things in the world. Okay? Value, the price of an object, how much it is worth, is completely ambiguous and completely made up. Okay? It's wholly dependent on the agreement of conscious beings interacting with each other in a system of commerce. Meanwhile, an apple, you and me, the brain itself, is nothing more than molecules, atoms, base components of existence, and some base components produce life or not. And how we describe life is also pretty arbitrary and an abstraction of matter itself. But consciousness, that's an elusive thing that we still have a hard time figuring out. And you know, a lot of people say that, oh, this religion is figured out, this religion is figured out, but in reality, none of them have. None of them have any idea what they're doing. And the best argument that I've seen for how consciousness works is that is a Buddhist idea of, well, there's a vast consciousness, almost like an ocean, that exists as an extra layer on top of reality, and everyone incorporates this consciousness into themselves, this additional layer of reality into their minds, and in this way anything can have a connection to that vast consciousness. Animals, plants, I mean rocks to a lesser degree than any of the others, but they all have the ability to access this vast ocean of consciousness. Now the problem is, well, no, that's not a problem, but then people will be able to, certain life forms are able to extract consciousness out of this vast ocean more than others. And, you know, the only problem with that is the idea that consciousness goes back to this ocean, okay? I see it much differently. The ocean of consciousness that the Buddhists are talking about, to me, seems like a human attempt at quantifying a interaction of individuals and creatures in existence. And so this vast ocean, the ocean doesn't exist. It's how we perceive and abstract the idea of thinking beings coexisting, okay? Consciousness comes from the atoms and molecules and chemicals working inside of the brain to make the mind function, but to make the body and mind function. And this consciousness, this oneness that people say exists, is not a oneness. It is a mass conglomerate of individual things. Okay, similar to how atoms are made of quarks, and those make up the electrons, neutrons, and protons. And inside those neutrons, protons, and electrons are the quarks that make up the very fine matter of existence. Now, I don't know if they've found anything smaller than quarks yet. I know that string theory argues that waves are on a similar level, or else what made up. Hey, can we turn? This is fucked up. Oh, oh, hey, hey, hey. Okay. That's done. That's how it's done. So, these, I don't know if waves are intended to be the smaller version of quarks or not, or the state quarks are in before they are solidified through perception. But whatever the case, these individual components, or perhaps a wave of components, sort of gaseous fluid, is what all comes together through forces of attraction in order to produce what we perceive as reality. And so, consciousness is not an ocean that is pulled from. It is a manifestation of the universe itself. It is what the universe produces through intelligent life forms. And you can say that that's intentional, but I find it more interesting and beautiful to say that the universe just evolves to produce intelligence and sapience. But no, the problem with the word sapiens is that it comes from sapien, Homo sapien. And so, or else sapien comes from sapience in a Latin sense. But I don't fucking care about the etymology. What I care about is the fact that that word is actually fairly exclusive, because I believe that any creature in existence can evolve into a conscious, sapient individual, someone who has the ability to think on a level that is higher, or at least parallel but different to how we think and our intellectual capabilities. Okay? And so, take whales for existence. Whales in the ocean, they interact with each other in a way that is very difficult for scientists right now to understand and study on a tangible, realistic level, okay? And while I don't think that whales have evolved consciousness in the way that we have it yet, I believe that it would be absurd to think that they couldn't, you know? I believe that whales, alongside any other creature in existence, have the capacity to have the right environmental conditions to produce consciousness within themselves, okay? And so, when anything is able, this doesn't it? And as somebody who does eat meat, I mean, you can't really care. Because plants are also capable of evolving intelligence. I mean, this is kind of obvious, because if you have the right components in a plant to produce a thinking organ, then its evolution could just take you towards alternative thinking universe. Okay? And in this sense, I believe that humans already aren't alone on this planet, because, I mean, anything else has the potential to reach our level, or even supersede it. I mean, humans have a lot of flaws, and a lot of intellectual obstacles that can be solved through the evolution of other species. Okay? And so, I I believe that when you consider what is ethical, very often you're going to run into a wall once you reach this level of thinking. And so, if you are a vegetarian or a vegan because you are trying to be ethical, then I think that falls apart if you consider this idea. And so what is ethical if everything has potential for consciousness, and thus everything can eventually be like us? And in a sense, in an intellectual sense, you are cannibalizing future possible generations of intelligent beings. How do you separate that which deserves to be eaten and that which doesn't? Well, I think you have to go less off of what deserves to be eaten and what anything deserves, and more so what anything fights for. It's tricky, because for a long period of human history, not every human was seen as human. They were seen as animals in the way that we see animals today. Us being animals as well, but people don't acknowledge that or think about that all the time. So, what is the trick? What is the ethical dilemma here? How can you be ethical if everything is a thinking individual, or has the potential to be a thinking individual? And you consider that humans throughout history have not always been considered humans, in the same way that possibly thinking creatures throughout history have not always been considered thinking creatures. Do you have to feel guilty for what you put in your body that is organic, and thus could potentially have become a thinking life form like yourself? Wow, what was that? That was crazy. That was cool. I don't need that. And I think at a certain point, you just have to accept it. And you can't be ethical all the time. It is not, in order to be ethical completely, you have to give up your survival needs. Okay? Now, currently, life form, okay, here we go. Currently, at our current stage in evolutionary history and biological history, I believe that it is necessary for humans to consume other things that could one day become intelligent and sapient. However, you have to be dynamic. Okay? There is no such thing as a everlasting immortal principle. I don't think. I think that anything is subject to change based on future evidence. And so if there comes a time where humans, animals, plants are able to live in intelligent cohesiveness,
I can help you find out. By the way,
it will only be through, like, if you get to a point where everything in existence that is able to think and is alive has the right not to be eaten, or the right not to be dominated, you have to get to a point where scientifically you are able to supersede hunger for other life forms, and thus you would have to develop some sort of artificial thing that will be able to feed humanity and the other things living within a system. Because I believe in universal human rights. I believe in universal rights as a whole. But right now, how feasible is it without the technology that allows you to live ethically in a system where everything in existence has rights? So, you have to develop the science, but eventually I see that one day being the case, where plants are given the same rights as humans, and that descends down all the way to animals and other creatures. As for microbes, shit, you're just going to have to transcend your mortal body, and I don't think we can do that. So, in a sense, you could be egalitarian about it, or you could be laissez-faire about how things in existence should be. But I think there should be a happy medium, where you have the acknowledgement of universal human rights, and any time that another creature evolves to the point of thinking and sapience, they also get access to those rights. Okay? But now, what happens when does the human race have to feel guilty when another creature becomes sapient and we've been eating them and killing them and abusing them for however long? Like, let's say that cows one day evolved intelligence in the same way that humans have it. Of course, in a different biological way, but in a way that we would ascribe as passing a Turing test. You know, that's kind of the crude way that we see it for how artificial intelligence can be considered human. And so, all sorts of stuff to go down there. But what was I saying? What was I talking about? How do you deal with the guilt of being a species that has been oppressing a suddenly thinking species for however long?
It's so good to breathe again. Even in this weather, it's better than the cave. Oh, what is it? It's on an island near Solitude. Hopefully we can find
Seen
a
a lot
boat
of
to take us
scars.
there. It's my family home. Not the most welcoming place, but depending on who's around, I'll be safe there. Let's just say that my mother and father had a bit of a falling out. Don't worry, I'm not in any danger or anything like that. It'll just be more unpleasant to run into my father. Good question. Hard to say.
Okay, if you want to listen to if you want to read the
I can't really
subtitles, pause,
I feel like
because
it was a
I
long
don't.
time. Who is Scott? Oh, wonderful. Who are the contenders? Empire? What? Cyrodiil must have been gone longer than I thought. Please, let's hurry. I need to get home so I can figure out what's happened. Yes, it is. And it's mine. It's complicated. I can't really talk about it. I'm sorry. Actually, yes. I was expecting you to introduce yourself since... Like what? And sorry for the sudden request. I promise I don't mean any harm. I hope for your sake it's not because I'm kidding, of course. Don't worry, I'll make sure nothing bad happens to you when we get there.
Okay. Yep. So, the guilt. Should you feel guilt in this scenario? Well, it would be very on brand for a white person to say that you shouldn't feel guilt, especially after white people and all they've done to the other peoples of the world based on not believing that they were capable of the same levels of intelligence. Wouldn't that be on brand? I think that in order to repent for all that has been done to a thinking population that has not always been considered a thinking population, is to fully integrate them into the whole population of long-standing thinking individuals. Okay? I think that you have to fully integrate them. You have to bring them into the picture, bring them into the conversation, and truly listen to them. Truly, live life with them. Okay? You have to. You cannot bar them. Okay? You can never bar any thinking individual from coexisting with other thinking individuals. Otherwise, you will create the same systemic horrors that we see in the United States and all across the world between the different races that is separated between the colonizers and the colonized. Okay? And that extends even further to the people who are not white but have colonized other individuals and thus created animosity there and continue to have animosity. Okay? So, in order to truly live ethically, after you have given a newly thinking population, at least as we perceive a newly thinking population, rights and acknowledge their existence as thinking individuals, you cannot segregate. You cannot separate. Everything is linked. Everything that thinks deserves rights on the same level that we do.
Hey, so
there's a distinction between
before we
animal
go in
rights
there-
and human rights. And that distinction
Once we're
is
inside,
created through lots of legislation, lots of philosophy. But the distinction should exist in order for thinking individuals to still be able to eat, and be able to survive. And this is one of the dilemmas of the Christian faith and Jewish and Islamic faiths about the Garden of Eden and eating the apple from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Wait.
I won't go too in depth on my thoughts about any faith and any religion. You can probably imagine what I think of religions and how I dissect their beliefs and come up with my own reframings of the arguments. But they were onto something in the idea that when you understand the difference between good and evil, you can no longer be an animal. You can no longer just continue to do whatever you want based on desires, based on lust, bloodlust, or anything else. That sort of behavior is what produces human monsters, and what we would consider monsters, when in the wild, they would just be part of nature. Okay.
If only your traitor mother
And
were here. I would let
in
her
a sense
watch
there's a whole bunch of different arguments between what the fuck, why does he look so ugly? Oh god, what happened to him?
Who is this?
Oh goodness, oh Jesus Christ, hey, look at that hairline.
This is my
Oh, look at that
savior,
part,
the
that's
one who
a
freed me.
fiendish
For my
part.
daughter's safe return, you have my
Goodness,
best
brother.
What is your
Goodness. Where does goatee go?
I am Harkin, Lord of this court. By now, my daughter would have told you what we are. Not just vampires. For centuries we lived here far from
So yeah, you
the
have
cares
to
of the
establish a
world.
form
All that ended
of
when
reparations.
my wife betrayed me and stole
Now-
away that which I valued most.
Reparations in the modern day? I definitely think that a lot of people need to have to have their wealth taken back. And do I
offer
think that,
my- Perhaps you
it
still
might
need
be,
convincing. Behold the
you might
power.
lose more resources to the same people who took your resources in the effort to take
your
back
choice.
the resources that were colonized and stolen from a different population in order to give it back.
So
Okay.
be it.
And so
You are prey.
it might be
by
more
all
productive
wolves.
and more
I
productive
banish
for everyone involved. No, we shouldn't even consider the thoughts of the white people in this scenario, because they were the ones who did it. So we have to consider what is the best course of action. And I think the best course of action is by fully integrating everyone into the conversation and into the population and into the systems. Okay? Now, the systems, as we've seen since the release of the files, have to be completely overhauled and completely revolutionized, top to bottom. There is no other way to think of it. Everything needs to change. And the only way to have real change is to have everyone in the world a part of a global conversation, or at least, at the very least, everyone in the United States to have a seat at the table and to have an equal seat at the table, an equal say. Because if we marginalize any voices in this country, any peoples in this country, beyond what we've already done, then we will only repeat the cycle that created, fostered, and festered the whole Epstein class. Okay? The whole ruling elite class of people that did this. And when I say this, I mean everything. I mean the financial crimes, war crimes, the crimes against humanity, everything. Is because we chose not to incorporate everyone in the conversation. Okay? What the fuck? They curse me? Did they put a curse on me? Motherfuckers. Well, that's not gonna last for me. It's still there. Nope. Okay. But yeah. The only way that could have been facilitated is through a complete ignorance and dismissal of additional voices that currently live within the society. You have to listen to the children, the survivors, the victims, the colonized, and the colonists have to shut up and listen. Okay? Okay? That's pretty much it. Because the colonists have already had their run of the deal. They've already had their fun. Their glory days should be behind them. And, well, I believe that punishment has to be exacted on those who have benefited the most from the system. And, well, we can all imagine who they are. Many white people have been completely abandoned by the system that keeps them, the economic system, but they have not been abandoned by the white privilege system. Okay? And we have to take a really good look at how this all works, because if we don't, then we're going to prosecute people unfairly. And there could even, if we're going to listen to the voices of the colonizers, many of them might not even want to fully prosecute. But I say you should. I say you really should prosecute against the people who have benefited from corruption and evil. Okay? Maybe, like, it's not a... For a lot of people, it should be a prison sentence, especially the people whose families directly owned slaves and oppressed people, and they had corporations that went in and destroyed various human ecosystems in order to reap the wealth and resources of the land. But let's take me for example. I am a half Caucasian, half Honduran, half Latino. And so, how have I benefited? I'm white passing. Yet, I own nothing. I own fucking nothing. I come from practically Appalachian blood, and my family has never owned any other person and never been particularly wealthy. We were in the past, and then one of my ancestors blew it all. They lost it all. They lost all the money. And so, I think that, for me, my way of repentance is producing these words, these ideas that have come to me, and I have learned from the others who have been harmed by the white culture. quote, culture, a white power structure, and that the way to repent is to truly live with these ideas of mutual cooperation towards a better world, and working towards a world that has universal human rights, universal acceptance, universal listening, and just a world where everybody has the right to freedom of speech in order to produce their ideas and hopefully be heard. Okay? That's how I play my part as somebody who has benefited less than others from this fuck-ass system. My name is not giving me any offers to Goldman Sachs or any of these other white-dominated fields. My name directly hinders me. You can see my name online. But I pass. And so, you have to speak up. You cannot stay silent. And you have to be a liaison to fellow white people who refuse to listen to minorities. Okay? Now, nobody is obligated to listen to me besides those people. If they want to live more cohesively in the society and more ethically. So, long roundabout way to argue for human rights, I know, but I think that's a very fair way to look at it, you know? And I think that the wealth of these slave-holding families needs to be taken back from the people who they enslaved, okay? There has to be a mass redistribution of wealth in this country because much of the wealth was gotten through ill games. And the only reason why we don't believe as a society in reparations is because of the colonist idea of the statute of limitations. You know what the statute of limitations really is? It's a way for white people to get away with it because they had the control of the power structures that be long enough that they are exempt from the cost and consequences of their actions, of their crimes against humanity, of their crimes against the planet itself. Okay? I think that's fairly obvious. And so, yeah. Woo, woo, woo! We're moving like crazy here. So yeah. If you want to get what you deserve, take it back. Take it back. Take it back. And truly think about how to prosecute these families who have benefited for so long. And to these families who, well, believe that they should be exempt from the price of that which their ancestors have wrought, you better take a good hard look at what you live with compared to what the people your ancestors directly harmed, have been left with. Okay? Take a good hard look at the inequality your bloodline has created. I'm not responsible for what my family did in the past. Then give the money back. Give it back. I mean, if you're not responsible, then you didn't earn it. You didn't kill all those people for it. So why should you have it? Okay? Even if we considered that you deserved it because you oppressed people for it, well, it's not your fault. And that's not money that you were gifted. That's money you inherited. So give it back. And they won't. Many of them won't. So, you have to fight to get it back. Because they've been brought up with the illusion that they deserve it. Because they weren't responsible for getting it. See how tricky that gets? Yeah, what was this? Free.
It's wearing a dangerous spell. All right then.
Ooh, open master lock. That's nice. Oh, that's really nice. Oh, I needed that. What else you got in here? What else do you have in here? So yeah, you gotta give it back. You gotta give it back. And if you're not willing to give it back, then you really shouldn't be surprised when people fight to get it back. Okay? Okay. So yeah, that's fun. Fun idea. Fun ideas. Fun ideas, I think. I think they're interesting. Am I a race trader? Yeah. Yeah! Gladly. Gladly. Why the fuck would I want to be in allegiance with these fucking monsters? Just my thought. Just my thought. Why the fuck would you ever want to be in allegiance with animals being white people? Why? Why would you ever? Makes no sense to me. Truly a waste of thoughts to spend your time working for the interests of the white man. It's disgusting. Shit. What other stuff can I get rid of? Because good grief, I'm carrying so much stuff. What can I get rid of? You know what? Fuck it. We're just trying to... There's so much stuff. What can I get rid of? What can I get rid of? Quest item, Matter of Pride. Matter of Pride. Oh, that's a Boethia quest to get the golden blade. What the fuck? Gold brand. Don't need that. Well, fuck. I just have to get rid of books. Goddamn. Okay. Alright, we're gonna have to go back to Golden Hills Plantation in order to drop all this stuff. Yeah, so all these European families, all these American colonizers, they gotta have it, they gotta give it back. And if they don't want to, they gotta look towards why they don't want to. Okay? And you have to deconstruct those whys. You have to argue against them. You have to find arguments against the why I will not give it back. Why I won't do any form of reparation. Even reparations of the mind, government, culture, and politics. Okay? You have to find the why, argue against it, and when you're able to argue against it, you can accurately fight it. And the more people who come around to knowing and understanding the reason why you fight against it, the better. The better.
Got to go.
Okay? Okay, this is going to be time consuming and boring, so just deal with it. But I want my mushroom fields to be vast and plenty. Alright, so this whole field is full. Oh, hello.
My patron appears once more. Have you need of my blade?
Nope. Where's that Dunmer kid? Adopted. Oh, I should try and find that stray. Oh, where is the stray dogs in this game? Oh, look at all this. Oh, wow. Don't need that. I really want to get more stuff. I want to get more stuff to plant and grow. Now, where is Baldur? Yep.
There you are. Very good, sir.
5,000! Woo-wee! Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it. You have to understand the psychology. You have to understand the psychology of the owners and the psychology of the ones who benefit the most from colonization. And you have to deal with that psychology directly. You cannot hold their hand. You cannot be, oh, it's okay, you can keep whatever you have. No. That is exactly what created the Epstein class. The Epstein class only exists because of the system that colonists created. Okay? Now, sure, has there been pedophile rings all throughout history? Yeah. But if you really want to fight against those sorts of things, you have to completely destabilize everything that has happened all throughout history. Okay? It's not enough to just push it under the rug and let things continue as normal. This requires serious revolution to deal with all of this nonsense, to deal with everything that's been happening. Okay? Like, this is so massive and is the capstone of everything that history has led up to. This whole thing is the biggest event in all of human history. You've heard me say it many times. This is the biggest scandal in all of human history. And to say otherwise is to kid yourself, because it is the capstone of all human history. And this moment, what we're living through right now, is the revolution that changes everything. It is the climactic event that decides whether we continue as a species or we just die. Okay? Die morally, spiritually, intellectually, literally. This is it. This is how serious it is. And to say otherwise, you're fucking kidding yourself. You're trying to soothe yourself with lies. Okay? But you gotta open your eyes. This is it. We are in the fight of our lives here, okay? The faster people realize that, the better. I didn't drop anything off. I didn't... Motherfucker. I didn't drop anything off, girl. Oh, who's that?
I've kept the workers steady. One tried slacking off, but nothing I couldn't handle.
Another quiet day, I hope.
Is there like a communal chest that you just put stuff in and then everybody can just take from it. All these guards can just take from it. That'd be nice. That would be really nice. And then people can just walk around with fucking Dustfang and Bloodblade or whatever the fuck it's called. That'd be awesome.
Oh, please stay away while you get that spell on you.
Yes?
Everything all right?
And the thing is, I don't even think that my ideas are all that radical. They just seem logical. To me, maybe I'm crazy. I wouldn't be surprised. But, I mean, seriously, the way we look at the world right now, we have to completely revolutionize it. We have to completely revolutionize who deserves what and whether anybody deserves anything. We have to fully integrate every person into the conversation. Nobody's voice can be marginalized. Okay? Everything has to be listened to and truly thought about, because we cannot continue like this. It's immoral to continue like this. Yeah, I'm just gonna... Well, I'll take this one. But everything else has to go after I disenchant it. So yeah, I don't think there's much more to say on that. Yeah, I don't really need to sell anything ever again. So there's kind of really no point looking for merchants and shit. Oh, no, give me those back. Oh, poison blooms. I wasn't even given the option to plant those. That's fucked up. Yeah, and then let's see what I put in here. I'm gonna take. Oh yeah, I already got that. Okay. So now I should have master lock. Yep. And now I can open any lock in the game. Finally. Yeah. Okay. So what else? I just think there's more to go over there in that topic, but I don't want to exhaust anybody. I don't want to exhaust you with how fucked we are. I don't want to give you false nihilism, because really it's not hopeless. I actually have a lot of hope, because I believe that the further we go, the more we will be able to interact with each other honestly and fairly. Because right now, more people are having mixed race children than ever. And sadly, I think that is the only way, that is one of the only ways that we get ahead. By people integrating other families from other backgrounds into each other's networks and communities, and by having and by opening the floodgates to any immigrant from anywhere, because the more people are allowed to live together in harmony or not, eventually the more harmonious we'll get. Unless if you have bad actors working tirelessly to keep everybody separate and segregated in the mind, in the consciousness of the community. Okay? And we see this very often. Because it's not natural for humans to not work together. Okay? It is something that is facilitated and argued for and fought for by bad actors. Because for most of human history, and I'm talking every year of the last 250,000 years we've been alive, it has been a cohesive effort in order for survival. Now, sure, you've had tribal wars and stuff, but for the most part, people want to survive. And the only way to survive, in many cases, is to work together. And the aggressors, whatever tribe back in the day, were the ones who fought against that social cohesion and community aspect, were the ones that either came out on top or rightfully died before they were able to continue. I really want to get new summons. Like, how the fuck is my strongest option Stormward? I've never liked Storm Astronauts. Or really any of the Astronauts. I always wanted the Dremora. They were just so much cooler. I think I'm going to take a break from talking. I'm just gonna, you know what? I'm going to put on some music and just listen to music while you guys can just watch the gameplay. And I'll just shut up and let dialogue play and stuff. Yeah, that sounds good. Actually, I'm going to listen to the news. You guys just watch the game. Where's my sound? Oh, does it show me if I have that enchantment or not? With that little check mark beside the thing? This little check mark? Fuck. That would have made this so much easier. Oh yeah, this is a player home I added called Xai'Shen. Really nice place. But usually for necromancer, but I just like it.
There's something you need.
Haggling with you can be so entertaining.
Mafala cloak.
Okay. Nah, I think this is better. Well, shit. Alright, guess that's the end of my stream. Alright, I think this is a short one. But, I'm in pain. Oh, it's an hour and 20 minutes. How long was I talking about human rights and stuff?